Conor McGregor is back in the spotlight, and for the first time in a long time, this feels different. Not another cryptic social media post. Not another retirement announcement. Not another promise that disappears a few months later. This time, there's an actual fight on the horizon.
Look at that.
It has to, like, this Conor McGregor fight in July is going to be fucking bananas. It's going to be bananas. I mean, people are going to go crazy for the return of Conor McGregor because he's a giant personality.
But don't expect the same thing.
How could
you
it
just
be?
can't.
He hasn't fought in 5 years, right?
But that's the problem.
It might be more
Because they're going to all expect that.
I think it is a little over 5. It's almost 6, I think.
It might be 6 at the time of the fight.
It might be.
I think
it's 5. I think it's 5 right now.
Are we expecting to see a Conor that looked like Nate this last fight? Or are we expecting to see a better Conor than someone that looked like Nate? Because Nate did not look good.
No, but Mike Perry did.
And
Mike Perry looked like a fucking murderer.
You know what I mean? Like
Mike Perry is a murderer.
He's a murderer.
And this
such a savage.
All right. What did you make of Max's energy? The interview that you did with Rogan on Sunday? He's very confident.
Bit rude, wasn't it? He's confident. I didn't see that.
You didn't
Look, Max is all right. Max is good. Max is my son. I sunned Max when we fought those years ago, and I'm going to do so again.
He's gotten a lot better since you last fought. Would you not agree?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't see much.
Since 2013?
No, I don't see much. I don't see much difference, no.
Really?
No, not so much. Same reaction, same movements. Listen, Max got better after he fought me. He added more moves to his game, but even still, there's only one. So I'm not going to say I don't rate him. I don't rate any of them. So it's on me now, with my date set, to go and show that. And that makes me happy.
McGregor is preparing to run it back with Max Holloway, and the tension between these two former opponents is starting to heat up fast. What's making headlines isn't just the matchup itself, it's what McGregor has been saying. The former two-division champion recently made it clear that he already has a plan for Holloway. No vague predictions, no carefully crafted sound bites, just confidence. The kind of confidence that suggests he's already visualized the fight from start to finish. And that's why this build-up feels different. Most fighters talk, most fight promotions are built on hype, but this doesn't feel like hype, it feels personal. The fascinating part is that neither man resembles the fighter he was when they first met back in 2013. Back then, McGregor was a hungry featherweight prospect, trying to make a name for himself in the UFC. Holloway was a young talent still searching for his place among the division's elite. Fast forward more than a decade, and everything has changed. Max Holloway went on to build one of the greatest resumes in featherweight history, becoming a fan favorite and one of the most respected strikers the sport has ever seen. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor became something much bigger than a UFC champion. He became a global superstar. One of the most recognizable names in combat sports history.
A prediction. A finish, bro. Mystic Max is feeling a finish, bro. Finish, bro.
But yeah, I guess the other part too. Like if Max goes in there and puts a beating on him, is this the last time you see Conor? I mean, I doubt it. I suspect he'll try and like find another way to keep this train on the tracks. But like, what if he goes in there?
That's a great point.
Like shit, you know.
That's a great point, because is he the type of personality? Now he has lost, and he lost devastatingly to Dustin Poirier in the way, but there was an injury. If he just gets outworked, knocked out, just outworked, like, can he live with that? Like, that's the thing. I'm like, is he gonna be like, no, now we're gonna see Conor want to turn around and come back in there quicker, within months, that type of thing, because he just doesn't want to live with that. That'd be interesting to see.
Careers couldn't have taken more different paths. And that's exactly what makes this rematch so compelling. This isn't simply about who lands the cleaner punches. It's not just about rankings or title opportunities. It's about legacy. It's about two fighters who started their journeys together, took completely different roads, and are now meeting again with everything they've learned over the past decade. The skills will matter, the game plans will matter, but the story behind this fight may be even bigger than the fight itself. Because when Conor McGregor and Max Holloway step into the cage again, they're not just revisiting the past, they're finally writing the next chapter of a rivalry that has been more than 10 years in the making. And that's why the entire MMA world is watching. Conor McGregor.
I don't know. I'm still kind of. I guess it didn't really hit me yet. Didn't really hit me because there was big announcements. We talked a little bit about it. Big announcements this last week, but it didn't really
boom on me yet. Like, is this really happening? McGregor and Holloway too is really happening.
The return of Conor McGregor.
And this time, this time I welterweight, Henry. Let's welterweight, not featherweight. This time it's going to be at welterweight.
McGregor also had plenty to say about Max Holloway's confidence heading into their highly anticipated rematch. Now, confidence has never been a problem for Holloway. For years, the former featherweight champion has carried himself with the quiet self-belief of a fighter who's already proven himself at the highest level. He's rarely emotional, rarely rattled, and usually lets his performances inside the octagon speak louder than his words outside of it. But this time,
Holloway versus McGregor, International Fight Week. This is the fight that makes sense. I talked to Max Holloway the other day. I posed this question to him: do you want to fight Conor? And Max said to me versus McGregor. This is the fight that I want. I am training right now because it's all I want. And when we fought, I was a little boy. Could you ever have imagined losing the BMF title would put you closer to the Conor?
Can Conor do anything with the fighter you're probably more familiar with than anyone in Max Holloway?
Well, we know that Conor hasn't been in the game for a long time, and I think a lot of people are thinking that he's just going to lose everything, but that's not the case. He's going to be dangerous. He's obviously going to still be very sharp.
Something about Holloway's confidence appears to have gotten under McGregor's skin. The topic came up during McGregor's appearance with Ariel Helwani when discussion turned to an interview Holloway had recently done with Joe Rogan. At first, McGregor seemed amused. He joked about Holloway's attitude and delivered a few playful remarks that sounded more like friendly banter than serious criticism. There was even a smile. The kind of reaction that makes you wonder whether he's actually bothered at all. But then the mood changed. Very quickly, the jokes stopped. And McGregor made it clear that he doesn't share the same level of
folds. Me sitting here and spouting to you, oh, but this and that. And then it's nothing, it's just words. I'll say something now, I've got my date to show it, and that is when I'm going to show it.
Are you looking forward to Fight Week, the press conference, all the stuff that you haven't had a chance to take part in? Do you miss all of that?
I am ready for it. Because that can be taxing. But I am ready for it. That takes it out here, but I'm ready for it. And what I am most looking forward to is the bout, the walk, the fight, the announcement, the crowd, the exchanges, and the dominating performance that I plan to put on.
When something's taken away from you, you may appreciate it more when it's given back. So just being there with John, being there with the team, like you're riding again. There's a nostalgic feeling to all of this.
Oh, the morale in the gym is very nice. It's very good.
Admiration that many fans and analysts have for Holloway heading into this fight. What started as lighthearted teasing turned into something much more serious, something that sounded less like promotion and more like genuine belief. Because despite all of Holloway's accomplishments, McGregor doesn't appear convinced that any of it will matter when they meet again inside the cage. And to be fair, Holloway's resume speaks for itself. Over the years, he's built a Hall of Fame career filled with championship victories, title defenses, and wins over some of the toughest fighters of his generation. He's widely regarded as one of the most technically polished strikers the featherweight division has ever seen. A fighter known for overwhelming opponents with volume, precision, and a gas tank that seems to have no limits. The kind of fighter who gets stronger as the rounds go on. The kind of fighter who forces opponents to break mentally before they break physically. Which is exactly why this matchup is so intriguing. Because despite everything Holloway has achieved, Conor McGregor...
All right. What did you make of Max's energy? The interview that you did with Rogan on Sunday? He's very confident.
A bit rude, wasn't it? He's confident? I didn't see that. Look, Max is all right. Max is good. Max is my son. I sunned Max when we fought those years ago, and I'm going to do so again.
He's gotten a lot better since you last fought. Would you not agree?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't see much.
Since 2013?
No, I don't see much. I don't see much difference, no.
Really?
No, not so much. Same reaction, same movements. Listen, Max got better after he fought me. He added more moves to his game, but even still, there's only one. So I'm not going to say I don't rate him. I don't rate any of them. So it's on me now, with my date set, to go and show that. And that makes me happy.
McGregor clearly believes none of it changes the outcome. And judging by his recent comments, he's eager to prove it. And that's where things get really interesting. Because McGregor isn't denying Max Holloway's accomplishments. He's not pretending the former champion hasn't built one of the most impressive resumes in UFC history. Everyone knows what Holloway has achieved. The title wins. The record-breaking performances. The legendary battles that turned him into a future Hall of Famer. But according to McGregor, none of that changes what happens when they meet again. In his eyes, if you strip away the belts, the highlight reels, and all the accomplishments that came after their first fight, you're still looking at the same man he defeated back in 2013. It's a bold statement, and depending on who you ask, a very disrespectful one, but it's exactly the kind of comment fans have come to expect from Conor McGregor. Throughout his entire career, he's never been interested in praising the man standing across from him before a fight. Instead, he's built his reputation on confidence, psychological warfare, and making sure he's the one controlling the conversation. Whether he truly believes Holloway hasn't evolved, or whether this is simply another mind game designed to get under his opponent's skin, is something only McGregor knows. But one thing is certain, people are talking about it. The comments are spreading across social media. The clips are being shared everywhere, and long before either fighter steps inside the cage, the buildup is already gaining momentum. That's always been the McGregor formula. Say something impossible to ignore. Give fans something to debate, and let the fight sell itself. Love him or hate him, few fighters in MMA history have understood that game better than Conor McGregor. And once again, he's making sure the spotlight stays exactly where he wants it. So how does this fight actually play out? That's the question dividing the entire MMA community right now. On one side, you have the people who believe Conor McGregor still has one more legendary performance left in him. One more night where the timing is perfect. One more night where the left hand lands. One more night where he reminds the world why he became one of the biggest stars combat sports has ever seen. After all, we've seen McGregor do the impossible before. Time and time again. He built his career by proving doubters wrong and defeating opponents who many believed were supposed to stop him. That's why so many fans refuse to count him out. No matter how long he's been away, no matter how much the sport has changed, no matter how many questions surround his return. But then there's the other side of the argument, and it's a very strong one. Because Max Holloway presents problems that don't disappear after a few rounds. His pace is relentless, his pressure never stops, and his cardio has broken some of the toughest fighters in UFC history. The longer a fight goes, the more dangerous Holloway becomes. 5 rounds with Max Holloway isn't just a physical challenge, it's a mental challenge, a test of discipline, conditioning, and durability. Every minute that passes gives him more opportunities to overwhelm opponents with volume and force them into mistakes. And that's where this matchup becomes fascinating. If McGregor can find success early, his power and precision could change everything in an instant. But if Holloway survives those dangerous opening rounds and drags the fight deep into championship territory, the momentum could begin shifting in his favor. That's why fans are split right down the middle. One side sees the return of vintage McGregor. The other sees Holloway's relentless pressure eventually taking over. And that's exactly what makes this fight must-watch television. And on paper, those are exactly the areas where Max Holloway holds a serious advantage. Cardio, volume, endurance. For years, Holloway has built his reputation on breaking opponents down over time. He's the fighter who keeps pushing forward when others start slowing down. The fighter who turns every round into work. The fighter who can transform a 5-round contest into a test of survival. That's what makes this matchup so difficult to predict. Because there are multiple versions of this fight that feel completely realistic. Maybe we see the vintage Conor McGregor, the explosive striker who can end a fight with a single clean shot. The version of McGregor that took over the sport and left opponents staring at the lights before they even had time to adjust. Or maybe we see Max Holloway drag the fight into deep waters, a grueling, high-paced battle where every round becomes harder than the last until his relentless pressure finally takes over. And then there's the third possibility, the one nobody sees coming. Because if MMA has taught us anything over the years, it's that the biggest fights rarely play out exactly the way people expect. That's why the entire MMA world is locked in on this rematch. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody can confidently predict how it ends. And that's exactly what makes it so exciting. One moment could change everything. One mistake could decide the fight. One punch could rewrite history. Now it's your turn. Who do you think wins? Conor McGregor or Max Holloway? And how does it happen? Knockout? Submission? 5-round decision? Drop your prediction in the comments below. And if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like, subscribe to MMA Signal, and turn on notifications for more UFC news, fight breakdowns, and MMA updates every week. We'll see you in the next one.